Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Open Book Broadcast, where we talk about anything and everything, writing and publishing, and all the in between, and we are open books about it. I'm your host, Allie, with The Right Place, Right Time, my virtual boutique of book coaching and ghostwriting services for badass and brilliant folks who are looking to brave the path to the page. I am so excited today to have Dr. Sass Sukasem with me this morning. To give her a proper welcome, I'm going to offer her bio to all of you so that you can get to know her before she tells us all of the fabulous things about what she does and awakening the goddess within you. So here we go. Dr. Sass is a motivational speaker and a life and health coach. Her approach to release the true you allows you to maximize your potential in business and life. She was born in Thailand and moved to the United States at a young age. Dr. Sass embodied the success that many women envision themselves to be. To stand among the leaders, she had earned her successes through many struggles and failures, which helped shape her to be who she is today, a warrior of life. She put herself through college, became a U.S. Air Force officer, and held many high-level positions in different companies. But today, she is the owner of Awakened Goddess LLC, empowering thousands of women, executives, and high-level individuals all around the globe to reach their full potential and celebrate their breakthroughs. Her take on business is that you must master yourself in order to succeed in your career. Oh, such a good intro. Welcome, Dr. Sass.
Thank you so much, Ali. Thank you. So great to be here. That was excellent. I was like, is that me?
It is you. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
So for those who are catching this live or watching the replay, I just have to say that Dr. Sass is this person that as soon as she reached out to me on LinkedIn, I was like, I want to know what she's all about. I want to know what this awakening the goddess within you thing is. And as soon as we got on a connection call, I just felt like there was this great synergy and energy and warmth. So I'm just so excited that she agreed to do this crazy thing of jumping on here live with me and having a conversation. Why don't we just start with, I like to do stuff that's not about business and not about what we're trying to succeed in doing in the world. Tell us just about you. Where are you at in this season of your life? What kinds of things do you like to do? That kind of thing.
Yeah, well, these days, what I like to do is just empowering women, through my programs and coaching. And I do a lot of speaking engagement and just connecting with different women around the world and just be in that space and, providing my values and my service. Um, aside from doing that, I love to travel. My first traveling experience overseas was moving from here to from Thailand to here actually at a young age. I was like, barely 12. It was a culture shock for me. And but this country, the United States of America, gave me a lot of opportunities, opportunity that's I wouldn't be able to experience or have if I would still be living in Thailand, coming from a very um, poor family. I didn't feel poor growing up because we're just running around the rice field, climbing up trees, jumping off second story of our home. And it was fun. But um, being here and just giving back is what I love to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you miss about Thailand still?
Oh yeah, the food,
Okay, well that's a good one. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
food. It's just a great country. So much culture. It had changed a lot when I went back, but just beautiful views, beaches, the mountains. It's just gorgeous. And to take money from the Western world to travel to Thailand, it just is like a cheap great experience. So, a little commercial there for people who like to travel. Please go to Thailand. You can get fried elephants and stuff.
Oh, good plug. You sold me on food and elephants and great views. Excellent. So, why don't we move on then and talk about? So, you kind of touched on this a little bit. You said empowering women was really something that you're passionate about. Obviously, your whole business is around that. So, tell us what lights you up, the impact that you have on the world. What are you
Um,
really? What are you here to do? What's going to be your legacy?
well, I would say the first thing that really light me up was, being a mother, to raise a little human, from little baby, and see their growth. It's just amazing. It's like a transformation, and to see they reach every milestone. And I think that's the heart of every mother and most women out there who is a mother. And we will talk more about that in a little bit. And the second thing that really lit me up is to be able to help people. When I was working for whichever company, people would just come to me and ask me for advice, and to see them just lit up and said, "Oh my gosh, I never thought of a solution before," stuff like that, and to help them go through struggle. For example, I went through divorce, and people would come and talk to me. How did you do it? How it's just really difficult for them at the time, and ask me different steps, and to be able to share my experience and all the tools that I use to go through different struggle of life. It's just amazing, and I believe that's my purpose of life, of my current life right now. If you believe in past life, next life, whatever, but my purpose is to guide and inspire women to really shine and be their true, authentic, beautiful, loving, and just amazing self. And for me to see people just breaking out the cocoon, it's just amazing. I love that. I love that, and it's what I live for um, every day, beside my kids.
Yeah. So let's talk about. I love to hear people's origin stories as to how they got into business or how they developed like what their current offering is. So
Mhm.
you have Awakened Goddess LLC. So
Right.
how did you obviously this story would probably take the whole podcast, but let's just give the Clip Notes version. How did you end up arriving to this is what I'm going to do? I'm going to create this company called Awakened Goddess.
Oh, it's been a long time in the making. It will take literally days to to talk about it. But to make the long story short, my past life, a few many moons ago, I was a clinical pharmacist, right? I'm still a clinical pharmacist, but seeing a lot of people getting sick, dispensing them medication and giving them pills and say, "Hey, go take this," and knowing all the side effect. And I just got started thinking. I was like, this is not the way to health. This is not the way to peace. This is not the way to happiness. It's just like there's got to be a different way that I can help make an impact. I went into pharmacy to help people, and I feel like I'm not helping them the best I could. So I just went off to anti-aging. I own a spa at one point. I help people lose weight. I own this place that help people melt fats, and with this high tech microcurrent machine, and went through many different company. I was managing multi-million dollar company, pharmaceutical company, not pharmaceutical, pharmacy. And it didn't resonate with me and who I am. And through the journey, I also went through many personal growth, many struggles, divorce, bankruptcy, lose my home, different type of health issue. And this is so much learning into that process. And I just want to give back and help prevent all this struggle that women out there have, to make that journey a little bit easier. So that's how I, created Awakened Goddess. It just through many years of different businesses and many struggles and many self-improvement, many stuff, really. Yeah. It'll take us many moons, many days to talk about it.
I
Yeah.
love I love listening to these stories though, because it's always like you can connect the dots between what somebody personally went through and then, why they're doing the work they're doing now.
Yeah.
Like there's some sort of thread there, which from a spiritual perspective always makes me wonder and think, right? Like, okay, what's the bigger plan here? Were these kinds of struggly milestones kind of laid out ahead of us way in
Yeah.
advance of us getting there, right? Because it was really leading us in a path of a certain type of direction. And that's not to
Yeah.
say, that bad things, have to be meant, fate or,
Yeah.
whatever, but just that we can take from our struggles, we can learn from our struggles, we can gain silver linings or blessings or gifts that can lead us
Right.
to great things, as
Right.
painful as they might be, right, while they're occurring. So let's talk then about, you've created Awaken the Goddess Within. This is a program to help empower women. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about what is the program, who is it for?
It's for every woman out there who aspire to be better, to break out of their cocoon, to become who they really are. The basis of it, and you touch on it a little bit, Ali, a while ago, is spirituality. And I always say this. I learned this from one of my mentor and teacher. His name is Joshua Rosenthal. He's an owner of the Integrative Nutrition School. And he said, we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. And for me, that really hit me when I was going through that, enlightenment process of whole health. And I was like, oh yeah, I exactly, that's what he meant, is what it is. We are perfect spiritual being. We just have to remember who we are. And that's the basis of my program, is walking every woman through the journey of self-love, self-care, awaken them to their worthiness. They are already this amazing being, worthy of everything, good health, good relationship, abundance, and to get rid of all that fear. And we have, I, I say we all the time, because I feel like I am the collective mind, right? Because this program literally was born within a few days. I just have this, I think some people will call it download. I just literally write and write and write and create this and this and this happen in a few days. And I was like, that's not me. It's literally, it's your higher self giving you all this information and said, this is what you need, this is what you need to create to help the great, the greater humanity. And for me, to be put through all the struggle, Ali, I was like, oh my gosh, how much more would God throw at me? I was like, I'm done. I learned enough. This earth school is tough. Um, and before all this struggle, my life was pretty boring. I was like a really boring, nerdy kid. And and all of a sudden life happened, and it's like, this is drama. I don't like drama, but I had to go through it. And I think, like you said, Ali, some of the stuff you can't avoid, right? The big things in life, you know. You probably must marry the person that you must marry, because before you were born, you make an agreement. Okay, I'm going to marry you, and this and that going to happen. But to take that lesson and make your journey a little bit less rocky, and and look at it in the different perspective. That's how I go through the Awakened Goddess journey steps. to empower you to see things from a different view, and just live life more happy, more empowered, um, and just being connected, and just knowing that we are just one collective mind, one collective, being. The universe is us. There's nobody out there. There's one us, and that's the essence of awaken the goddess within.
So it sounds like you help people get in touch with the spiritual being that's living the human experience. Is that accurate to some extent? In addition to empowering and finding new perspectives?
Yes. In a modernized way, I don't take you into a cave and go meditate, and I don't do that. Even though sometimes I'm like, this world is just crazy. Maybe I should just go in the cave and meditate, and then just be connected, and then I'm done. I think many of us are tempted to do that, but no, I'm not going to do that to you. I would guide you in a more modernized way, with videos and MP3s and mind movies and exercises and stuff like that.
So
Yeah.
let's talk then about the connection to writing. So obviously, right, Open Book Broadcast is about writing and publishing. I was interested, in how Awaken the Goddess Within would maybe serve someone before they write a book. Because what I notice as a book coach, a lot of the time, especially with my clientele who predominantly are working on memoir, and memoir often means that people have been through some shit. Memoir, not for the rainbow stories. Like maybe there's a rainbow at the end of the story, but like memoir is pretty much about struggle and adversity, right? So what ends up happening though is that those emotions, the past, the trauma, healing, recovery, triggering, I mean, all kinds of things, right? Bump up against some maybe anxiety or overwhelm or doubt that they already have about like the more mechanical part of writing the book, the actual writing, the being accountable, the setting a schedule, and those things can all be taught and things like that. But sometimes having a different set of tools for the psycho-emotional aspects of this are useful. So how could Awaken the Goddess help people on the front end of the book writing journey?
Yeah, Ali, that's really is a good point. And I believe in everything you say. People who've been through some shit, as you say, and if you are a human and you have a few years behind you, you will have gone through some shit. And for me, to talk about the stuff that I have gone through, whether it's been being ripped off of my everything I know, the culture that I live in, all the friends that I have, my family that I have in Thailand, and just dunk myself into this. It's like drop yourself in a different reality. It was a culture shock. I can talk about that all day, make jokes about it, and I had some probably very little. Feeling about it, no trauma at all, because I healed from that. I can talk about divorce. I heal from that. I can talk about that all day. I can talk about going to school and not being fitted, and um, going, being a single mom, burning candle at both ends, and losing my house, bankruptcy, multiple health illnesses, losing my eyesight at one point, all of that while raising two kids, as a single mom. I can talk about that and not being emotional about it, because I heal from all that. The one thing that I'm going through some crap right now, and I'm prepared to talk about this. I'm still going through the healing process. So for those who are writing about your memoir and you are anxious about it, I am anxious about talking about this today. And there are steps that you need to take to be more comfortable, to shift that mindset. For me, coming on this podcast was focus on the why I am here. I am here to offer my assistance to you who going through the same process of healing, of going through some stuff that happened to you, that is very traumatic. And I focus on that, on the greater good, on guiding people. And then when I come on here, I'm not as a mess. But what I'm trying to say is I lost my son a few months ago, and I get emotional because I haven't healed from it. I'm going through the process. I read my books. I know there are 5 different stages. You get shocked, you bargain with God, you get disbelief, and you get depressed, and then at the end you're supposed to accept it, right? And I think that acceptance is like a little bit far for me right now. And for what I want to share with you is to get in the space where you can talk about it without uh, crying and stuff like that. Make sure you give yourself enough time, because this is major for me. This is major. um, get enough emotional help. Have your therapist, a coach you can talk to. I have a therapist that I'm very trusted. He been in my life for many years, going through many things in life. I think every human being should get a therapist. So I talk to him. I have friends who checking up on me. I have family who are very supportive. I have a loving husband who let me cry, let me experience those emotions, let me just go in the space and just allow myself to be. And sometimes you need to let that out. Let it all out. Cry if you have to. Cry if you want to. You allow to experience those emotions and let it go. If you don't, then it's gonna get bottled up, right? And just make sure you have, number one, make sure you have enough emotional help. If you don't have a lot of people in your private circle, there are groups everywhere. Whatever, if you're divorced, rape, uh, you lose a child, there are forums everywhere where you can go on and just get support for people who are going through the same thing. That's number one, emotional support. Number two, sleep. Make sure you get enough sleep. You get going through some crap. If you need something that you need to take, I'm happy I'm a pharmacist, so I know exactly what to take, what not to take. If you need to go see a doctor, you get a prescription to help you with sleep, please do. This is for a brief period. I don't condone or I don't encourage using medication for everything, but this is one thing that if you're going through some rough stuff, you need to. Um, you know, I take some melatonin and some GABA to help me fall asleep and stay asleep. Um, Eat healthy, you know. The thing is eat healthy. Your body, when it go through stress, you need to heal. Your body need all those nutrients to heal. Drink water. If you need food for the soul, the food for my soul is coffee. If you cannot see, Starbucks is my to go coffee store. Um, Eat healthy, feed yourself great stuff. I drink green juice, wheat grass, and stuff like that. You don't have to go to that extreme, but nourish your body, and at the same time, movement. Go to the gym, exercise. Exercise is a great way to get that endorphins, the feel good hormone, right? Not that only that you will be healthy physically, it give you the natural serotonin that you need to help you go through this process. If you don't exercise, go for a walk. Nature walk really help. The fifth thing I do is I have a note here, so I make sure I tell you everything that I do. I stay away from TV. I don't remember the last time I really watched TV regularly. I think it has been 20 some almost 30 years since I like watch TV. Um, Honestly, I go to uh, the web to check on stuff that I need to know, but that's it. I live in my perfect world here. Stay away from negative stuff. I said TV because most of the time when you turn on it, just negative stuff, right? You want to surround yourself with positive stuff. If I watch anything, I go to YouTube and comedy. I go to the theater and make sure the movie that I pick is something that will make me laugh, will entertain me. Um, and another thing I do is meditation. I was fortunate enough to being raised in a very spiritual family, so I grew up meditating. I can remember as far back I can remember. I could have been probably 5 or maybe younger. I just remember going to my great uncle's house and start meditating. But you don't have to be like that to enjoy meditation. There's like so much you can find out there. Just YouTube 10 minutes meditation, healing meditation, so many free stuff out there. And you just, hit play and close your eyes and just be in your, healing space. Um, this one thing I put last is number 7 is forgive. Not that it's the least important. It's the most extensive, and it's probably will take you many years, if not a long time. Some people forgive really easily. It take them, it depends on what it is. It depends on what it is. For me, going through the loss of my child, I feel guilty, right? I didn't see him a few days before he passed. He was, 20 years old and he had his own place and, guilty for many things. And I had to go through the process of forgiving myself. I have to go through the process of forgiving other people. And this is major. I even have a mentor who walked me through releasing the negative emotion. Um, this is major thing. If you're going through some major stuff in your life, invest in yourself, because without your real health, which is mind, body, and spirit. And if you're not 100% present, 100% happy, 100% you cannot be fulfilled. You cannot fulfill that purpose that you come here in life. It's it's everything. Forgiveness is everything. And that's the 7th thing that I would do, to go through the list: emotional support, sleep, eat healthy, exercise, stay away from negative TV and social media, meditation, and forgive. I would recommend you do all that. And when you're comfortable enough, after you do that, then yeah, write your book. That's a healing process. I'm writing a book right now about what I'm going through. It's hopefully would come out sooner than later. But yeah, that's my share.
So the first thing I obviously want to say is just wishing you, so much peace and light in your healing journey, and sincerest,
Thank you.
sincerest condolences for your loss.
Thank you so
Um,
much, Ali.
as a mom whose 6-year-old this morning said to me, "Mom, do you know that life is hard?" um,
Yeah,
my heartstrings are tugged. I can't imagine. I can't imagine the journey that
yeah,
you're on right now.
yeah.
So I'm wishing you so much peace.
Thank you
Um,
so much.
to the 7 things, I would like you to put that in an infographic and make that available, that I can just be passing out to everybody that I work with. Because they're such good, tangible, applicable things. Like, they're easy reaches. It's low hanging fruit, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
all of us have the ability to get a little bit of emotional support, eat a little bit healthier, move our bodies, meditate in a way that serves us. So truthfully, if you don't have a lead magnet right now, that would make for a really incredible lead magnet. The 7 things to ground and care for your soul before you awaken your goddess, and write your book. So something else that you said that I want to touch on is the you mentioned a lot, like, healing, like heal it and then go and do X, Y, or Z, right? And it makes me think that I have this kind of new little catchphrase that I'm saying, and I'm calling it the heart of memoir, where HE stands for healing, and then there's the art part, ART. And I like to say heal first, make art later. Because one of the things that's really hard to do while you're healing is write a book that's going to eventually sell, right? Because while you're healing, everything's raw, everything's unfocused, everything's unclear, everything, because it's all emotion, and the emotion is great, and capturing it in the beginning is great. You don't want to lose the emotionality because you want your readers to connect with that, but there's not enough time and distance yet to hit the print and publish button. So I think the things that you're suggesting, these seven tools for self-care, are really important because it's a part of your path to healing. And the other thing too, right, about trauma is that healing can take a really long time, and maybe you want your book to come out longer or sooner than it's going to, sooner than when you're going to actually completely heal. So I like to say, like, as long as you've healed enough where you can be objective about what you're writing. Exactly. And that's really up to you if you feel like you're healed enough. But the other thing I love about the 7 things that you shared are that they're good for people to be doing before they get going, but they're good to maintain while they're writing. Right? You don't like do the 7 things and then like, woo, I'm done, I'm good, I'm gonna write this thing now. Right? Like you got to do the 7 things while you're continuing to write the book.
Exactly. You hit the nail right on the head. Yeah, perfectly said.
That you were writing a book, and happy to endorse when it is ready for that. So tell us a little bit about, before we wrap up here, you've got a speaking engagement coming up where you're going to be empowering some women, and it's in Paris, yes?
Yes, the women empowerment in Paris. You have a link there, right?
I do. I have a link. I'm going to put that in the comments.
Perfect, thank you. And I would encourage to go. If I don't know where around the world your listeners are. If they're in Europe, it's like, a train or a hop airplane away, and you can buy tickets and stuff. And if you are speakers, get in touch with those people, and I believe you can still get in, because this is a 2 days event, and then there are so many different topics. And whatever you're in, if you want to share your stories or just go there to heal and listen to all these amazing women share their story, it will help you heal. It will help probably enlighten you, motivate you to go to that next level in your life, really.
Beautiful. I'm sure you're going to
be I will be. Yeah. Thank you. And I will share more about my journey and what method I use and what is important to break through that next stage, to become the best version of yourself, right? You have to go through certain things and overcome certain things, and have people in front of you that said, hey, I did it, you can do it too. Because the difference between me and you is just time. That's it. Time. Go find the information and just do it.
Awesome. So I've put your website up here on a banner. I've also stuck it in the comments so that people can come, they can connect with you. I'm guessing that's the best place if they want to find out about the Awaken, the Goddess Within You program. It's all there on your website?
Yep. It's all there. Everything's all there. I'm more active on LinkedIn. So if you want to click on the button on, not LinkedIn, Instagram, if you want to follow me on that. I do put out a little bit of tips here and there, of value. So
beautiful. Dr. Sass, this was wonderful. Thank you for joining me for Open Book Broadcast. I know we could have talked for another 60 minutes about stuff, So we'll have you back again.
Thank
We'll
you.
do a whole separate segment on something else. So folks, join me again next week for another installment of Open Book Broadcast. I'll be live on my own next week. Our next guest will be coming later in the month. And in between now and then, please visit therightplacerightTime.com. Consider joining the email list. Get the link over to our YouTube channel where you can catch this episode and other episodes of Open Book Broadcast. And if you sign up for those emails, you'll learn about all kinds of upcoming stuff that The Right Place, Right Time is doing, including a free webinar that's happening at the end of this month. So please consider going over there and jumping on the email list. Dr. Sass, thank you so much again. And everyone, we will see you next time.
Thank you, Ali.